All right, Dick, start of the second quarter here with Lafayette as Bruce Wiles will punt for Lafayette as 0-0 football game. It's been a defensive struggle. It's been a struggle marred by turnovers by both teams. Really very little offense generated so far. But we saw a couple of weeks ago at 7-7 Lafayette Tates Creek, and so it was primarily a defensive struggle that game.
Both city games this year, Stan, have been very close. The Bryan Station Henry Clay game went into overtime, and Lafayette edged Tates Creek last week 14-7.
Wise gets a high snap and booms it out there. Darwin Briscoe will retreat back, and Scott Pruitt for Lafayette comes down very quickly and makes the hit on about the 10-yard line.
It was a tremendous punt by Bruce Wise. Scott Pruitt is a defensive secondary starter for Lafayette, but he's also on the punting team, and he's an excellent, outstanding special teams player. We saw him last week, or a couple of weeks ago, make several hits on the punting downs for Lafayette, and right there he was the first one down and just stopped Briscoe in his tracks.
Number 56, Darren Bryan, a 6'2", 205-pound senior, leads Bryan Station out as Don Jenkins has them on about the 10-yard line. They go back to Dishman running wide and getting a couple of yards, more than a couple, about 4 or 5 yards on a little veer play, running behind Andre White.
Mark Lunsford getting off the bottom of the stack. He had help from several other Lafayette defensive people. William Dishman picked up 3.
So give him 3 yards, call it second down, 7 yards to go. A nice little call by Bryan Station. They don't really want to take any chances down here. Number 23, that is John Brown wide to this side for Bryan Station, facing about a 6-man defensive front for Lafayette. They flip it back here to Andre White, running hard and getting not a whole lot as Lafayette. Beautiful, beautiful defense by Lafayette's left side, led by
Bryan Sonka, I believe, Stan. Number 39 stood his ground
and number 82, David Borosic, also in on that one, Dick, as they met the charge and met it very well. Call it third down and about 4 yards to go. Ball placed on the 17-yard line of Bryan Station with 10 minutes and 31 seconds left to go in the first half. Don Jenkins will call. He will fake to his fullback and get blasted after he comes past the line of scrimmage. I don't know whether he picked up his first down or not. It's going to be close as Mark Lunsford again in on the stack for Lafayette.
They got it, Stan. First and 10, Bryan Station, their first down of the game.
They run what looks like a little veer play. They fake inside, and then Don Jenkins has that athletic ability to either go outside with it or flip back to William Dishman. This is John Brown, a wide out to this side. The ends are in tight over there. On the other side, as Jenkins will call his play and give it to White, and White is going nowhere. Beautiful, beautiful defense by Lafayette's defense, led by Andy Bischoff.
82, David Borosic. 73, Jamie McCarty. All in on the hit for Lafayette, along with 39, Bryan Sonka stands. So the tough Lafayette defense, their strength all year. An outstanding defense is showing its stuff again here tonight, here in the first half of this game.
Okay, that'll put it second down and 11 as he lost a yard on that one. So full house backfield as Don Jenkins calls. Back to throw, looking over here to Briscoe, throwing to Briscoe. It's a little bit too high, and he was very well covered by Porter on that one by Lafayette. So it'll go back as Chris Porter made a nice job with Briscoe. So it'll go back to the line of scrimmage, call it third down and 11 with 9:17 left to go. White will go out. We get into the football game. John Brown, who's played a lot of wide out for Bryan Station, along with Briscoe out of the football game now. John Brown will send White out to that side. He'll be covered man-to-man over there by Scott Pruitt as Jenkins goes back looking for Brown. Now runs out of the pocket being thrown out here, and nice play by Mark Taylor as he picks it up. And Thomas Coates plays the football carrier very well. Thomas Coates did a nice job for Lafayette coming up and making that screen pass.
But the play was made, Stan, by the defensive rush of Lafayette. They forced Jenkins to throw it when he didn't want to. And it was just a dump pass out here to Taylor, but the rush was put in by the Lafayette defensive people. 59, Jeff Waters in there forcing Jenkins to give up the football, and Lafayette will have to punt.
You're exactly right, Dick. Don Jenkins stands back on his...
Excuse me, Bryan Station will have to punt, Stan.
Right. Don Jenkins will punt from his 5-yard line, hoping for a good snap. Does get it. Booms it out of there. It's a short punt. Won't go too far as Vic Johnson will watch it roll, but makes a nice Bryan Station bounce and passes past the 40-yard line to about the 38, where Lafayette will play it. First down and 10 yards to go with 8:21 left to go first half. Nothing's their score.
Stan, we mentioned that Bryan Station has had a lot of trouble inside the 10-yard line scoring. They're the heartbreak team of the city this year. We saw them back in September, losing to Henry Clay in overtime. They lost a 4-overtime game to Shelby County. They lost a game in the closing seconds to Laurel County. All their games have been close except for the Boone County game, and that game is after the Henry Clay game, and they were admittedly down for that game.
I happened to hear that game last week, Dick, against Laurel County, and that was a tough loss. They had that ball game pretty well in control, but Laurel County came back and beat them. As we go back to motion with Antoine George taking the pitch from Matt Gay, picks up a couple of yards, where it'll be, let's call it second down and about 7 yards to go, as the football will be placed on the 43-yard line. This side, Lafayette trying to mount a drive here as they get Daniel Scholes wide out, or rather tied in to the other side. They go back to George, finding a bit of running room, but not a whole lot as it closes up. Nice tackling by Bryan Station.
Craig Brooks, Derek Thomas in on the hit for Bryan Station. Stan, Antoine George has been a workhorse in this first half as he picked up 3 more on the play. So they're just going George left, George right in this game.
I'll tell you one thing, that Derek Thomas does a good job, Dick, for Bryan Station. All right, we have third down, 4 yards to go. Big play facing the Generals. Let's see if they can march it past the first down territory. They go back on a trap play to Lunsford. He is trapped in the backfield, but gets loose, and he gets his first down. Beautiful run by Mark Lunsford. What a run as he was strapped at the line of scrimmage, but as you saw, took that little pivot move and picked up his first down. We said earlier that Lunsford is a football player, and boy, he showed plenty of athletic ability right there.
Broke 2 or 3 tackles on the play. Like I said, he runs very hard, and Antoine Brown stopped him, but not before he picked up good yardage into the Bryan Station secondary. So Lafayette moving the football once again.
Big play Lafayette. They get it inside Bryan Station territory at the 46-yard line in Bryan Station territory with Matt Gay calling the signals. He gives it off to the first man through. And that is number
Jerome
4,
Brown.
Jerome Brown. Just as I picked it up, somebody stood up in front of me, Dick. So Jerome Brown picked it up and picked up nice yardage. How about 3 or 4 yards? We'll wait and see. They give him more than that. They give him 5 yards, so make it second down and 5 yards to go as Jerome Brown came into the football game, replacing Mark Lunsford.
He was a starter stand in the early part of the year, and now he's in this game tonight in the offensive backfield, and he's in on this play too.
Matt Gay he looks and gives it off to George, and George on a trap is met by number 62 for Bryan Station, and boy, they do a good job as they come up. That's Anthony Clark, and boy, Clark, along with Thomas, made him right there in his tracks. They'll put it right back on the line of scrimmage where it'll be third down. He might have picked up a foot. Call it third down and 5 as they'll place the football on the 41-yard line in Bryan Station territory.
That's the 11th carry for George, a total of 37 yards. And he has been worked in this first half.
Big play Lafayette. Let's see what they do. They fake inside. They flip it back to Johnson, and Johnson runs wide, gets his first down, and then he's still on his feet as Bryan Station finally brings him down, but not before Victor Johnson, I think, picked up the first down.
Stan, the play on that one was good running, of course, by Johnson. But number 3, Antoine George, put a tremendous block that sprung Johnson around the corner that enabled him to pick up the first down. A great block by Antoine George in that play.
Call it first and 10, Lafayette, as they're sustaining their drive. Lafayette comes out, place the football now on the 45, 40, 35, 34-yard line. As Lafayette will fake inside, they give it to their big fullback. That's Jerome Brown, and he just comes blasting up the middle behind fine offensive blocking by Tom Schneider, Brent Ballard. As they pick up about 4 yards or 5 yards, make it 4 yards, call it second down and 6 yards left to go with 4:53. Lafayette showing a good ground game.
They have dominated Stan this first half. The two turnovers in the ball game in the first half, but other than that, they have dominated in this first half.
That's right, Dick. Thomas Higgins, as they give it again to Brown, and he's hot, and so Brown picks up another 4 yards. It'll be just a bit shy, as he'll be about third down and call it about 1. But beautiful, again, inside blocking by Lafayette. Thomas Higgins, along with number 73, Jamie McCarty, looked like on that one, as Jerome Brown just would not be brought down by Bryan Station.
Third down 1. Stander having good success over 52, Brent Ballard also.
He's doing a good job coming off the football, you're right. Matt Gay will call his hike. Fakes, gives off to Antoine George, running wide. Beautiful defense by Bryan Station as he picks up, though, his first down. I'll wait to see where they place the football. Don Jenkins comes up, does a good job, but again, a little veer play. And they pick up the first down. As beautiful calling by Lafayette. They go inside for a couple of plays with Brown or Lunsford, and then they try to skirt the outside, and they're picking up very good yardage that way. Not big yardage, but good yardage. Inside Bryan Station's territory at the 24-yard line. They're about in 4-yard territory, of course. First down, 10 yards to go, clock rolling. Here we go with Lunsford. We have a flag on the play. This is not Lunsford, this is Thomas Coates instead of Lunsford, but I believe he was in motion. They may have to call this one back as Coates ripped through there a little bit too quickly.
I believe you're right, Stan. The preliminary signal is offensive illegal motion by Lafayette. Call that play back. And with 3.5 minutes to play in the first half, Lafayette would like to get in before halftime.
Thomas Coates. So they've used 4 fullbacks, looks like. Coates, Brown, and Lunsford. And they're going with their tailback, which is Antoine George, and he's a dandy. So, illegal motion. No wonder he blasted through there, Dick. He hit that hole pretty quick. First down, 15 yards to go as they'll place the football back to the 20, make it about the 27-yard line in Bryan Station territory. First down and long. Too much time or something. The officials have blown the flag. Might have been offside, Bryan Station. Wait and see. Offside, Bryan Station.
Lining up in the neutral zone, Stan, is not allowed, so make it 1st and 10 again. 3:19 to play.
So they pick up the 5 yards that they lost a moment ago, Dick. As he is a dandy for Lafayette, as Lafayette comes up, and they give it to Coates, and Coates comes up for nice yardage. So I'll pick up about 4 yards, make it second down and 6 yards left to go as they bang it inside the 20-yard line to about the 19 and a half. The clock is rolling with 2 minutes and 42 seconds left to go in the first half. Bryan Station digging in, trying to thwart the Lafayette drive. They go to Coates again, and this time Coates finds plenty of running room inside the secondary of Bryan Station.
Gets down to about the 10. He's met by a host of Bryan Station defenders on that play, Stan. Good yardage by Thomas Coates.
You're watching Fayette County Schools Television, Channel 13 in Lexington.
Stan, we'd like the viewers to stay tuned at halftime, where we'll have the Lafayette High School Marching Band and the Bryan Station High School Marching Band at halftime, putting on their halftime shows. Feature of our games, and always put on a good show.
They sure do, Dick. We'll be looking forward to that.
And Stan, I also want to encourage the viewers to tune in next week at this very same time, where we'll have the Tates Creek Commodores taking on the Henry Clay Blue Devils in another big district game, and that should be another war, as all these city games are, and we're looking forward to covering that game out at Henry Clay.
You're right, partner, as that will be a dandy next week.
2 heated rivals, Henry Clay and Tates Creek. Henry Clay trying to get back into the state playoffs. They've been absent for a few years since they won the state championship in '81. Lafayette's trying to repeat from a year ago, while Bryan Station and Tate's Creek trying to mess things up, Stan, by pulling off victories in these games could really throw the city race into all sorts of interesting possibilities in the final night of the regular season. So still a long way to go in this high school football season, and another big game here tonight. Lafayette, though, in the driver's seat right now with 2 minutes to play first half.
Right now they're looking very strong with Matt Gay on the 12-yard line. First down and 10 yards to go. They go back here to George as they faked inside the coach.
I believe it was Mark Lunsford.
All right, Lunsford.
Mark Lunsford
right,
running the
Mark
football.
Lunsford. Picks up a couple of yards as Lunsford comes out and Dick Johnson comes in.
3-yard pickup by Lunsford. Less than 2 minutes.
So Lafayette's been doing most of the damage on the ground. We'll see what they do this time as they have Lunsford along with Johnson, Gay in the backfield. They give it to George, and George is met at the line of scrimmage, and I don't believe he made past the line very much, as Richard Johnson, among others, for Bryan Station, did a good job of containing him.
Good play, number 86, Richard Johnson, stopping Antoine George.
So
he picked up a yard stand. It's going to be a big third down play. Of course, they do have an excellent field goal kicker in T.G. Shuck as the clock is rolling down. So even if they do not get it in the end zone or a first down, they can bring on Shuck, Stan. He's pretty accurate in this area of the field.
That's right. He's within his range right now, Dick. 108, so it's a big play for Lafayette. They've been able to pick up the third down play. I believe they've picked up maybe 2 out of 3. So we'll see what they do. Third down and 6 yards to go. They fake as they give it back here to running wide is Porter. Rather, this is Johnson. He didn't make it. So Bryan Station as Derek Thomas.
42, Tim Dunn, 8, Tony Harden. Really smelled that play out, Stan, and words going on down there between the Vic Johnson and a couple of the Bryan Station players. But good defense by Bryan Station as they had that play snuffed out, and now Shuck will have to come in for the field goal.
Well, they played the option very well, and so Lafayette will be faced with a field goal from about the 20-yard, 25, right at the 23-yard line. It'll be about a 33-yard effort.
10 seconds to play in the half, and the clock is moving down, Stan.
That's right. They're going to call a timeout and not take a chance on it, on the clock running out. So with 6 seconds left to go in the first half, we've decided nothing so far here at Ishmael Stadium with the score, Lafayette nothing, Bryan Station nothing.
But it looked like on that play, I don't know if the Lafayette people intended for the clock to run down that much or just didn't realize that the clock was rolling and it got down to 6 seconds, but they did call timeout. It looked like they were about ready to line it up and kick, and somebody from Lafayette called timeout, and will now give Shuck some time to boot it through.
Very wisely, too, I thought, Dick. Haste makes waste a lot of times, so Lafayette wants to make this one sure. Every point is a big one in these city games, and so they want to try to get 3 on the board. They would love to have had the 6 points a moment ago, but it wasn't meant to be as Bryan Station played very alertly on defense. Holding will be number 19 for Lafayette, and that is Christopher Horn. As Bryan Station wants Shuck to think about it, and they call timeout.
Not a bad play. You got some timeouts to waste, Stan. Why not use them? Bryan Station finding it very difficult. It sounds like a broken record, Stan, but it's been the story of the game. Dishman has really been held down. He's only carried the ball 5 times in this first half for 19 yards, way below his average. He's coming into the game averaging over 100 yards a game. But he's only got his hands on the ball 5 times, while on the other hand, Antoine George has touched it 14 times, Stan, for 44 yards. So looking at these offensive stats that I've compiled here, Lafayette just totally dominating, and Bryan Station's going to have to find some kind of answer to keep the ball in their hands and keep it away from the Lafayette offense. This Lafayette defense, Stan, has really been hard to score upon this year. Every team Lafayette has played, as a matter of fact, Corbin only scored 17 points, Stan, your team down there. Right. And that's the lowest output for Corbin all year.
That's right. You're exactly right, Dick.
Stan, 7 members. We mentioned this a couple of weeks ago, but 7 members played on last year's outstanding football team that went to the state 4A at-large championship game against Christian County. So they play together a couple of years. They know each other very well. They got some outstanding personnel, and they're doing the job.
Well, let's see if Shuck can bang this one in from about 33 yards out, and we're going to have another timeout as Bryan Station said, wait just a minute, TG. So we'll think about this one a little bit, and so TG comes over to the side.
Steve Parker, Stan, boy, got all the poise. It's a good move. I would do the same thing, but Stan's to find time now. Let's take a brief timeout here. A timeout on the field with only 6 seconds to go first half. The score, Bryan Station, nothing. Lafayette, nothing.
All right, TG Shuck will attempt it from about 20, let's call it about the
30-yarder, Stan.
30 yards. All right, TG bangs it up there. It's good. TG Shuck puts Lafayette on the scoreboard, 3-0. So with 1 second left to go in the first half, Lafayette 3, Bryan Station nothing. Beautiful kicking by TG Shuck. Dick, how far was that? 30 yards?
Stan, I'm going to say 30 yards.
I was trying to find the down marker, the yard marker, and I never could find it. We'd call it 30 yards.
I believe it was.
It was close there. I don't know.
Anyway, it's good, Stan, and Lafayette's leading 3-0.
Yeah, another thing, Dickey kicked it from the hash mark this side, so that's a pretty difficult field goal.
And he had room to spare on it.
Plenty of distance, that's right. 1 second left to go, so Lafayette, without a major catastrophe, should take a lead into the halftime. Shuck will kick.
Stan, he's got the ball flat on the ground. You know what he's going to do. Is this going to be a squibber? Trying to prevent any kind of run back by the Bryan Station kickoff return team.
All Bryan Station has to do to start that clock is touch it, and we're all over for the first half. It's going to go out of bounds, looks like. No, it's going to roll down about the 2 or 3 yard line. I don't know whether he touched it or not, didn't. It's going to be a touchback.
So we'll kick it over. I want to encourage our viewers to stay tuned. In just a few moments, we'll have the Bryan Station High School Marching Band and the Lafayette High School Marching Band at halftime, our halftime entertainment. We encourage the viewers to stay tuned to that, and that'll be coming up in just a few moments. The bands are poised on the sidelines, ready to come on. And 2 excellent bands, Stan. The Bryan Station Band, Lafayette, both outstanding. Lexington has had a strong band program for years, and all 4 high school marching bands, year in and year out, do very well in competitions. And so we encourage the viewers who have never seen a high school halftime show to stay tuned, because it's very good.
Well, Fayette County Schools is well blessed with music, Dick, as they start them in the grades, and they come right on up through junior high school. The junior high people do an excellent job with them, and then as they get into high school, they're already very well prepared. And so you're right. We see a great musical productions from these bands every week.
So Shuck will kick off, stand 5 yards back. And they got to get the scoreboard, the clock down to 1 second again. So, I imagine we'll see the same thing. He's got the ball flat on the field, Stan, and expect another squibber.
Certainly don't want to take any chance of a run back. That's all he wants to do is keep it low. Maybe Bryan Station will pick it. There, they touch it. That should do it. White picks it up, and that'll be it.
Okay, that's the end of the first half with the score, Lafayette 3, Bryan Station nothing. We encourage the viewers to stay tuned for our halftime entertainment. The respective high school marching bands will be performing. We'll be back with that after this brief intermission.